All right, welcome to episode 9 of Perfectly Unfinished Conversations. And today we're sort of excited because that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have a conversation.
Yeah, together.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the fact that we're heading into the last 4 months of 2024. And September in the gym world is quite a bit like January. It really is a time of kind of refresh. People are coming back after having the summer off. They sort of feel like they've been off the rails, much like they do at Christmas. And so they come in refocused and ready to recalibrate. And the same goes for us as well, I think. And so basically we created a list of questions that we wanted to pose to each other. I came up with some, Joe came up with some, and we're just going to work through the questions.
Yeah, and we're just going to have a nice, perfectly unfinished conversation today.
Heck yeah. So I'm going to go first because first question up was mine. Where is your head at right now?
My head is a mess. And it's only because I'm headed into a million different schedules. So I have a lot of schedules that I'm running. I got a hockey schedule, I got a school schedule, I got staggered entry for a kindergartner, I've got the gym schedule I'm creating, we've got new class times that we're incorporating into the gym. There's just a lot of schedules on the go right now, so my brain every minute of every day is, oh, did I forget something?
Yeah.
There's just
so how do you manage that?
I have a lot of Excel spreadsheets. You know me.
Jolie likes Excel spreadsheets. I like my Google Calendar. I schedule everything in time block in my Google Calendar, but Joe is a spreadsheet master.
Yeah, thank you. That's how I'm managing, is I just make sure that I have everything color coded, because that's huge for me. I like to have things in color coordination. And making sure people are communicated with that need help at certain times.
Yeah.
I think right now that's what's going on, is that everybody knows what's happening, because there's more than just me that's helping me right now, and we all have to be on the same page.
Well, and you kind of had a bump in the road this week because
Yeah, my babysitter got a job. So I've had a babysitter for 3 years, and she got a job in the field where she went to college. She's now an EA at a school, and I'm really excited for her. But it also left me with a lot of challenges, because I was grateful to have someone for 3 years who would be there to drive my kids, open the gym, or close the gym, pick up my kids, because my husband is gone. He leaves early in the morning, he gets home really late at night, or else he works away. So it's been... yeah, a lot of juggling this month. So it was kind of like a bomb kind of blew up. But, it we'll get to it later, I'm sure, but it feels good.
I remember those days so well, because they really are super challenging. As a mom who worked full-time out of the home, and by choice, because I wanted it that way. I preferred it that way. My mental health was better working outside of the home. But I remember those days where 2 kids... you're paying for childcare, full-time at first for both, then part-time for one, full-time for the other, and just the expense and the guilt and the struggle and the challenge. And I always talk about trying to spend quality time with your kids. You do a lot as far as sports and that kind of thing. You're really involved with your boys, but it's such a tough gig for parents to look after themselves, let alone a business, let alone their other relationships, plus still looking after their kids and their kids' needs, right? And then on top of it, you're paying someone else to come in and help you to be able to live your life.
Yeah, it takes a village. It really does take a village. And there's so many people that reach out to you and are like, hey, I can help this day if you need help. When I made it known coaching yesterday, they were so gracious. I got a lot of messages yesterday after coaching, so it does take a village.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I'd love to squeeze that in right here, right now, that Joe and I often talk about with huge gratitude how much we love this community of women and men. But, we've got, how many members would you say we have? How many people come?
Probably around 175.
Regularly, and we've built relationships to some degree with all of them, some closer, some longer than others. Yeah. But every single one of those people is genuine in their understanding and their compassion and their offering. And it's just, we're so grateful. Not only just in that example for helping you, but in general.
Yeah, in general. It's been a fantastic ride, man.
Yeah.
It's been a fantastic ride.
Yeah.
Where's your head at? I want to know where your head's at.
Well, today...
Fantastic!
Today my head is good. I've come through a couple of weeks of really mentally challenging times. And it's because Claude's mom passed away in the mid part of August. And she was such a beautiful person, and we had great family time in the funeral. But my own daughters struggle quite a bit with their mental health. And there were just a lot of things that came up around that same time that really challenged them, and then by default me.
Your mama.
Yeah, totally. And so today I am in an awesome place, but I've come through a couple of weeks. I got jacked up in my trap and then ended up like Frankenstein.
You can't see her, but she looked like Frankenstein. She was like, one shoulder was beneath her ear for a couple of weeks at the gym.
I couldn't train. I couldn't sleep. I was in a lot of pain. And that's the second time that trap, that side has gotten jacked up like that. But this time I knew there was an emotional, mental component to it. It wasn't just physical. I'm such a fucking believer that you are not just a body. Like your emotional state, your stress state, your mental
physical state.
Well, it's all connected. It's very, very hard to have exceptional physical health when your mental health is a mess. And it's very, very hard to have exceptional mental health when your physical state is a mess. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not just one thing. You're not just one part. So I was really physically, I was challenged, which then influenced all my habits because I'm not sleeping well and I'm a master sleeper and I love to train and I wasn't doing any of that. And then I was in my own head dealing with supporting my girls, but also like trying to look after myself with new habits, awareness, consciousness, whatever. So
energy.
Yeah. So, but right now my head is fucking good. And I love September. I keep saying to people on the floor, like, I love the summer when the summer starts, but about halfway through summer, I'm like, okay, everybody back to work now. Like, it's really hard to be...
The routine is out the window for everybody.
Yeah. So, anyways.
And everybody does kind of feel sort of like a mess. Even one of our staff members coming up today and saying, I'm just out of sorts because it's routine and I'm trying to get myself back into this routine and I wasn't that routine before. I totally understand.
Yeah.
We're all feeling like that. We want to make sure the routine is what we want it to be. We want to implement it at the right time. Yeah. We don't want to forget something down the road, and we're all just thinking of all the things. And
it's this whole aspect of I have to do it perfectly.
Yeah, all at one time. Every fucking thing at one time.
So what are you working on? Okay, I'm going to preface this by saying I love your boys, not your boys. What are you working on personally?
Yeah, like totally. Personally, right now, and I think when I had, the bomb dropped of my babysitter being gone, I sat in my chicken coop with a 5-gallon bucket turned upside down, and I had my emotional moment of like, what am I gonna do? Like the whole like woe is me moment, where and the only one heard me were 28 chickens.
28 chickens.
and then I like stopped. I had this music playing. It was really nice, calm music, and it was like, okay, I got that out. It was more like mindfulness. So I'm working on being mindful. I had like a moment in the chicken coop. It was like one of those like, like your phone addiction, looking at yourself in the bathtub. I had a moment like, okay, that lasted maybe 90 seconds. Like, I'm okay. So it kind of was a realization that when things get tough, when moments get hard, and I feel like I just want to crawl into the bed, into my sheets and not come out, it's going to last for probably 90 seconds. And then I can get over it. So I want to be more mindful of my energy heading into those moments of when I'm really feeling that frenetic pulse in my body and I'm starting to get tight and everything is, oh no, another thing, oh no, my body just wants to like, I don't know, rigor mortis almost, like, like I just get super tight. I have to realize, okay, Jolie, like your brain is in control of your body and emotions create reactions in your body, but if I can think a different way, it will create a new set of emotions which will then regulate a different set of reactions inside of my body. So I'm trying to start from the source, which is the circuit board. If I can start from the circuit board, then I can work my way down. And also I think with mindfulness, what I'm working on, it's pausing. You and I are both very busy, fast Gemini women, and it's so important for us once in a while, and I'm speaking from my own opinion, is that we just gotta take a moment and pause. Sometimes just pausing
before the reaction,
before the reaction or the emotional thought, or I'm gonna go do this. Like, just can you pause for a fucking second, Jolie? And when I pause, that's when I'm like, it's not that bad. Like, and I found that in the chicken coop. I paused, and it was not that bad.
And all I was trying to do was keep them from shitting in the nesting box.
Yeah, these bitches need to get on the roost, and they're sleeping in the nesting box.
Oh Oh man, I think that's so funny. 28 chickens. God love you. You're like the Pied Piper of chickens.
I love it. Anyways,
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that like I just had Mason in there and he was, Mom, take a picture of me, and he was hugging onto all the chickens and the chickens just like trying to get out. I just love it. I'm like, I love that I'm raising these kids that are in there hugging animals, you know?
Yeah.
I love it.
Hugging.
Okay, so what are you working on personally after all that?
Over the last couple of weeks, so I had this, I'm always just aiming for awareness for myself. And over the last year, I've had a couple of things happen in my home relationships, one with my husband, one with my kids, my girls, where I have discovered that I am by nature a people pleaser. And what that means and how it shows up in my life is that I say, yes, I can. Yes, you bet I can. More with my kids and my husband. And I probably should preface that a little bit, like poor guy. But what happens is I say, yes, I can do that. Yes, I'll be there. Yes, you can come. Yes, I can help that with that. Yes, I can do that. Until there comes a moment where I go, no, and so it's the awareness that I overstep my own boundaries. I ignore my own signals, and then I get to a point where I lash out unfairly because I've ignored my own boundaries, right? And so it's probably deeper than that. That's kind of the skim level. So personally, I'm working on emotional adulthood. I'm working on owning my own responses in any relationship, and then consciously choosing how I want to show up differently than that. And I'm feeling super empowered by it, honestly, because
Good.
I have been such an emotional infant in a lot of ways. People would disagree with that, but and it sounds kind of awfully judgy of myself, but I really feel like it's very empowering to not let my emotions pull me in any direction, because like you were just talking
I was
about,
like, how similar is this conversation?
Totally, because like you were just saying, what I've discovered is it's not my emotions that are pulling me around, it's my thoughts.
Yeah, they're not the driver of the ship.
The thoughts are always the driver of the ship, and this is where I just am so fascinated. Maybe we can talk about this in a future podcast where we're talking specifically about thought, feeling, action loop, and how if you just believe that you're empathic and a feeler and that you absorb everybody else's feelings and that you're a victim to your own emotions, you're going to be pulled around and do
you will
things,
always be that.
You do things and respond in ways that set you up to probably reap some negative, or there's just an outcome maybe that you don't feel great about.
Like you said earlier, you're putting a lid over yourself. That's who I am.
Yes, totally. And so that's when you say, what am I working on personally? That's what I'm working on, is I'm removing the fucking lid.
Yeah, and not being an emotional infant, as your words. You want to grow up in the emotional ways. And that's kind of like what I said too. Yeah. And I think we're always working on that. But also reminder, generations prior to us, and even further than that, there's none of that. There was no emotions. There was no talking about it. There was a lot of stuffing.
A lot of stoicism. Yeah.
And
suck it
so
up.
I think
stiff upper lip.
Yes, and it's still there in certain countries for sure.
Yeah.
But I think what's been empowering is that we're more aware of it now, and there's a lot more education on it, and I feel the younger generations are moving towards that light of how they, and it really truly is a positive way. If you can teach a kid how to stop having a temper tantrum, which by my God, it's really hard, but if you can master that skill, imagine what that kid will be like when they grow older.
100%. Yeah. So there's a win-win-win-win. And that's the thing, is that in the work that I've done so far, which is motivating me to continue the work, is that my marriage is stronger and better than it has ever been. And he's risen to that as much as I have, but I can foresee where my relationships with my kids and other people in my extended life will benefit from it as well, in which case that means that I benefit. I benefit, it's like that whole trickle down. So anyways, so how are you setting yourself up to win these days?
Well, I think whenever fall comes and there's a change of season, I feel the urge, just like you did your office, I feel the urge to change my environment so it feels fresh. So on the weekend, the long weekend, the boys' rooms, I cleared all that out. I cleared the entire house out on Monday. I'm talking baseboards, walls, like I needed that big refresh knowing it was all done in all the hard areas of your home, you know,
Mhm.
like the ones
Mhm.
you're like, I'll
Mhm.
get to that once a year. Like I did it all, everything completely got done. And I know for me, that's what I needed to get off of my weight, because when my house is a mess, it weighs on me and it creates deeper anxiety, because I don't know. I'm that person who's always grew up. My mom was like a clean freak. I grew up in a clean, like everything was in its place. So then when I grew up, I kind of inherited that OCD-ness.
And that is totally, cleaning is a control mechanism for anxiety.
Yeah.
So when you feel out of control, cleaning is the thing that you go to soothe yourself. Somebody else might go to food or alcohol or whatever, but you go to cleaning.
Yeah, I love controlling that cleaning. So that was one thing, was I had to get that done so I could have a better environment in order to feel inspired, to create, and also to start my routine again of when we're in this school season of hockey and me coming to the gym and not really going to be home for most of the day. I have to have all my food prepped. Living so far away from the business, having to drive now farther away for hockey in the same day. Now I want to get back to the routine of having all my meal prep done for the week.
Why is that important?
Because I like to, if I don't have the right nutrition that I know is going to make me feel good and create energy for the rest of the day, I succumb to old and bad habits and my nutrition goes out the window. And then I don't feel good because I'm eating shit food and I'm running here. Oh, I didn't bring this. I got to run there. Oh, I'm at the arena. I got to buy this and eat that.
Yeah.
A, it saves money. B, it's important to have my food fucking done for myself and my kids so that I am stress-free in the week. I don't got time in the week to meal prep or get food ready at nighttime before I go to bed. Like when my kids get down, like I want to go straight to bed. I'm tired. So in order to have that done, it's got to get done for me on Sunday. So and to successfully help me feel like I'm going to win, I want to have all those areas covered. So my house is clean now. I can now create in a space with meal prep and everything's organized where it needs to be. My pantry was completely gutted. I feel better about it. I know where things are. So I feel more inspired to create.
Yeah.
So that I can get back into those habits that I know feel good for me and serve me right and give me energy in this job that we do. I need the energy. So I can't just go to East Side Eatery every day.
No. Although that would be nice. It's still like, you know.
Yeah. It's luckily right across the street from us.
Yeah.
What about you?
How am I setting myself up to win? I feel so good today. Like really, truly, I am, when I finally feel like I have emotionally regulated, I'm in a good place to be able to do all the other things, right? And so that is just that affirmation that I have to take care of my mental health and my emotional state. And when I'm emotionally regulated and in a good place and I'm consciously choosing the way I want to show up, then I'm setting myself up to win through all the habits that feel good. Like I was saying to you this morning, like I am so structured with seeing sunrise, putting my feet on the earth, drinking probably a liter of water, you know, as soon as I get up, like just being super, super conscious about grounding habits for my behavior. I'm really working on my circadian health, my circadian clock. And so setting myself up to win, when I get all those pieces right, everything feels effortless. And I'm not talking specifically about the grounding and but I'm loving the process. And so as far as food and workouts, like I really feel like that stuff is taking up so much less bandwidth in my brain because I don't have to put as much thought into what's the perfect thing to eat today, what's the right amount of workout, how am I going to get in my workout. Like I'm just not thinking about any of that stuff because it's so second nature now, which is fucking amazing.
That's habits rule.
Habits rule, sister. So I'm feeling really good. So
what are you struggling with then?
Nothing. I think we already covered that with, you know, kind of like where's your head at. I think we talked about what I was struggling with. And again, I heard this quote recently or read this quote recently, which was like, a mother can only be as happy as her saddest child. And I was like, oh, fuck, that like is so true. That is so true.
Maternal instinct.
Well, and just how it's a very natural state for a mom to be that deeply connected to their children. And when your kids are struggling, it's hard not to struggle, you know? And so when they're good, and I don't want to put any pressure on them, because that's growth and learning too. They're doing it at their own time, and they don't have to be responsible for me to be mentally well. Like, that's not on them, that's on me to be well. But when they're good, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then, how are you bringing yourself back around to what's important?
Staying aware, awareness, staying awake to myself. And what I mean by that is, it's really easy to fall back into old habits, things that feel good, like
dopamine hits, like numbing out on the phone.
Yes, totally. And I'm just being really way more like that conversation about the phone addiction. Am I doing it perfectly? No, but I'm striving to do better, and it feels better.
Yeah.
And so awareness is everything. If you can just stop blocking your consciousness, you know what I mean? Like, and the analogy I often give when I'm talking with clients, working with clients, is it's turning the light on in a dark room. When you get up in the middle of the night and you've rearranged your furniture, it's easy to stub your toe, and you'll be like, oh fuck, that hurts. But if you can just turn on the light for a second and have a look at what's around, it doesn't matter if the light goes off again, where the problem is and where to avoid, so I just thought
flicker.
Yeah. So it's almost like if I can just get a glimpse of, ooh, there it is. Ooh, there's the truth. Ooh, that's what I'm doing wrong. Ooh, that's where I'm struggling. If I can get a good handle on it, then I just keep that kind of in my awareness, and it just helps keep me focused.
Yeah, like one thing I would want to talk about bringing yourself back around to what's important, what that translates to me is there's always these weird seasons of the year, you could say, when I'm coaching a session on the floor, where I go almost inside myself and I just judge very hard. We kind of go through these moments as coaches.
Judge yourself?
Yeah, judge myself. Like, oh my gosh, I said the wrong thing. Oh my gosh, why can't I be more professional? Why do I have to swear in class? Jolie, what is wrong with you? Why didn't you, talk to that person? Oh my God, that person hates you. Like, your brain does all these crazy things. And bringing yourself back around to what's important, I always have to stop myself, because I think it lasts a couple days. Really, it does. It kind of bleeds in for a few days. Jolie, people just want to be loved. They just want to be seen. And sometimes being seen is you seeing that maybe they're struggling, and you just back off a little bit. You don't have to be so much onto them all the time. But also, some people need that love. They want you to say nice things to you. Like, they look up to you. They want you to come over to them, have a personal one-on-one moment. Just fucking love people. And when you love people, then all of a sudden that's what's important.
I agree.
It really is
100%. And we've been talking lots about personal stuff, because I think that's where we wanted this conversation to go, but when it comes down to the business model is loving people, helping people to be their best self, helping people to be well, giving people a community to belong to that they feel seen, safe, included, and that they can work on optimizing all aspects of themselves as well. And I think that when you talk about coming back around to what's important, you're 100% right, that whenever we feel like we're like, this feels hard, something's not working, if we can just come back to, how do we make it easier for them? How do we love them harder? How do we help them get better results? It always works out.
And really with yourself too.
Oh, ton. Who, or this is one of your questions, which is so good. Who or what is inspiring you right now?
I'll go with my first gut. So my first gut of what I just thought there was, again, bringing it back to community. There's so many people who are going through shit all the time. And I know sometimes we talk about this, we sit and we're like, gosh, things are so good. And people are going through such a hard time outside of here. People who are losing spouses, or someone who's dying a slow death with cancer, or someone dramatically loses someone hard. There's a lot of hard things going on with other people in the world. And where am I going with this? So I feel that what's inspiring to me is watching people go through these incredibly grief moments, incredibly hard times, and seeing them come out of it and find the strength, the resilience, I don't know what else you want to say really with that, but you're the adjective queen, but they're able to come back and and specifically members, and they come back and they just get back to it and they forge forward.
Mm-hmm.
Or not even members, even some of family that I have
Mm-hmm.
going through it right now, seeing them trying to do the best they can, forge through it with what is happening with sickness in my family. It is tough out there, and what's inspiring me is that as a human society, we all go through so much shit. Everybody is going through shit. And I think if we can just be kind, I think being a kind human is what fucking inspires me. Because then maybe it's that one touch that I said something nice to someone, or that one even just literal touch where I touch someone on the shoulder and I say, hey, I'm thinking about you, and I walk by. Like, if that can make someone feel good, like, that fucking inspires me.
Yeah.
I know
I love it.
That was deep.
No, I like deep. Fuck, you know me. I don't do anything but deep. In fact, sometimes I wish I wasn't so damn deep. But the question was who or what, and you are talking about what. You're not even necessarily talking about who. You're talking about what is inspiring to you. And that's, I think, for me as well. What is inspiring to me, or what is inspiring me right now, is sort of on the same lines of yours and a little bit different, is that humans are going through hard times right now. And I feel really deeply inspired by the wisdom and resilience of humans in general from a historical ancestral point of view.
Cool.
In the sense that I'm inspired to think that it is deeply comforting to my kids and my grandkids to have me be really common sense and positive, not airy-fairy Pollyanna, but like, humans are resilient. This is how you take care of yourself. This is how you look after one another. This is how humans were designed to eat. This is how we were designed to live. Like, I think that that's really comforting for people in a world that feels bonkers, you know?
Yeah, and every 100 years there's been 3 generations, and we've been around for thousands and thousands of years.
And so what's inspiring me right now is coming back to ancient kinds of wisdom. This is how we eat, this is how we evolve, this is how we, like, and it makes sense, because I mean, God, I got my primal coaching, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, but it's bigger for me even now than it was then. Like, just
you're
because
deeply practicing those habits now, though,
I am, and at 54, I feel so fucking good that like, tech, you know, new philosophies, new strategies, new superfoods, new super instant packets and powders and supplements and all that kind of shit. You know, that's out there and available, but don't dismiss the power of how we got here and what's available to us inside,
and just the basics.
Yeah,
like the basics.
There, see, why can't I just not fucking go deep? Anyways. Okay, so what feels sticky or heavy or too much for you right now?
Well, what feels heavy for me right now? Probably in amongst the busyness of it all, because, you know, I hate to say that word because it feels like it's an excuse I'm throwing out in on the altar, like, I'm busy. But at the same time, I am fucking busy. But in amongst all that, I do find that my partner and I, like my husband and I, we lose so much communication because, okay, now you're going here, I go here, yeah, okay, I'm going to bed, good night. Like, I feel like I haven't even spoken to him much in the last 4 days because we've been on different schedules, and I know it's going to continue because this is the first week until April for the end of the season. And I know it just leaves out all that important time. So together, I feel it feels sticky and heavy too much with the busyness because I lose those connections. And if us as a team, because we have to be a team in order for this whole fucking thing to work, you know, it requires, as a woman, I feel it requires more of that connection time. If it's a date, if it's whatever. So I think what I've been thinking about is that I want to start booking actual date night, like making the time for us to spend time together and find those dates that work for us, because If not, it's going to be another entire season, and we're just going to probably drift further and further apart and not know each other until the end again. And I don't want that to happen. And I felt like it happened last season because he worked away most of the year. So if the foundation isn't connected, everything else starts missing out and pieces get dropped. So for instance, like just air conditioner on my truck going today, and me calling Brandon knowing that I have to work late tonight and I have to open the gym tomorrow. I got a workshop, I got lots on the go. And I'm like, you got to get the groceries. Like, he's like, well, send me a list. I said, I don't got time. You got to get the groceries. So just as a team, it feels horrible to just bark, you need to do this. I wish we could have time to talk about it and plan it together, make it less orderly, because I don't like to be the orderly person, but sometimes you gotta, I guess. But anyways, that's where I think things feel heavy. I need that connection piece to get tighter in order for the rest of this shit to feel easier.
So God, I love you so much. Okay,
I love you, Brandon. If you're listening,
but I love your transparency and your vulnerability. I don't want to make it seem like I'm invulnerable because I'm trying really hard. You just happen to catch me on a good day, right? Like what feels sticky and heavy, I've come through that. What feels sticky and heavy for me, what's recently been really sticky and heavy, is it is so scary to watch someone you adore struggle with their mental health so hard. And so I've come through a period of real fear, again, where then I'm trying to manage my emotional child self. So that part has felt really sticky and heavy. I have also, I never had kids with sports schedules, but I know what it's like to go through those years where you just feel it's so hard as parents to connect when the kids are the focus, like, and I can appreciate and remember that. And so, it's not that when you're in it, it's easy to connect to what feels sticky and hard. When you've come through it and you're on the other side of it, it's much harder to feel connected. It's much harder.
Gone.
That's all better.
In the closet and I close the door. It's gone.
Put it in the closet and close the door. 100%. No, I'm managing it. I'm dealing with it, but it just is so much less acute. Had we had this conversation last week, I probably would have fucking bawled my way through it. So, so that feels good. But on the other side of it, like, what feels light and joyful and full of potential, I still believe in this business. I am loving looking after myself. I love my relationships with my friends and my family and my husband and my kids and the people here. Like, I feel really gratified and positive and hopeful. And what feels full of potential with what we just came through with, my kids, 2 of them in particular, but all 3 struggle with, especially anxiety. It's such a nasty thing. And I can really identify with it because of my own history. But what feels full of potential is that each of them is growing and doing their own work and is willing to do their own work. And my daughter Paige in particular, like she has each of them, but she has no idea how powerful she is. She is so deep in it sometimes, in the depths of despair, that and that's just a colloquial, whatever you want to call it, like, basket term, kind of to throw it in, but she's so deep in the pain, sometimes that she has trouble seeing the light, but I can see the light. And that, like, I see it with each of them, and that is reassuring. So.
Yeah, you are so full of optimism.
Yeah,
that's one thing about you.
I try.
Ever since I've ever known you, if I ever say anything that's like in a way that might be disheartening to myself or harm myself, you will be the first to be like, "What did you say? Okay, let's fix this." Like, you will always have the nice sentence back.
Maybe that's not a good thing.
No, I think that's what's drawn me to you.
Well, because maybe it's dismissive when somebody says I'm suffering and you say, "Yeah, but look on the sunny side."
Yeah, but you didn't do it like
that's
that.
That's not what I did. Okay, good.
I was being exaggerative.
Because it wouldn't wouldn't be helpful when you're suffering for somebody to go, yeah, but things could always be worse.
Yeah, like that's like, you know, they call that in my SSR course toxic positivity.
Yeah, I hope I'm not toxic
No.
positivity.
No, you're not.
Okay,
you're not.
okay,
You're not at
okay,
all.
okay,
No,
good.
but I like that it feels airy and like, what's the word you said here? That light, joyful, full of potential is that you are this lighthouse for your people, right?
And that's a great analogy. That is a really, I love that analogy and that visual. And that's part of me doing my own work, is because I really, really believe that the better I am in every capacity, the better I can serve other people, right? Like, if I'm a fucking mess, I can't be of service to others. If I'm a fucking mess, I can't be solid ground, you know? And so that analogy of, I want to be the lighthouse. I want to be on the rocks, steadfast. That's one of my words for actually this year.
Steadfast?
Steadfast is one of my words. We're doing this in the staff meeting on September 11th, where we've asked our team to bring 3 words that will guide them through the next 4 months of the year. And one of my words is steadfast. I want to be the lighthouse on the rock. And so that when stormy waters come, they can see me.
Come to me.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Because I already got me.
I
got you.
Yes. Oh, that gives me goosebumps. Yeah, that's good. What about you?
I feel that, again, the business, like, I feel like it's effortless, it's light, it's easy to come in and do something when you are so fucking in love with what you do. When you love helping people, when you love working out with the most incredible team, like when everything feels good. And of course there's hard moments.
Of course there is.
But I feel,
and challenges.
But it feels super easy to get into that. What personally I feel a lot of joy right now is that it's harvest out of my garden. And I've been canning and I've been eating fresh food and the kids are in there getting their hands dirty and it's just like eating from Mother Earth. I just
want to point out that this is exactly what I just said about what I feel is like
primal.
Yeah, like that whole, like, you're talking about what I'm talking about with circadian health and primal and ancestral health. You're talking about the exact same thing. It's growing things. It's being connected to the earth. It's eating what you harvest. It's having your chickens. All the same things that are lighting you up are the same things that I'm talking about.
I just got the farm.
Yeah.
One is in there.
Yeah.
But I'd feed you. I'll be bringing beets soon.
Yeah,
so just
please bring all the zucchini.
No, I'm done with zucchini. You can take the beet tops.
Okay, I love beet tops.
So yeah, like going into the garden, hanging out with my chickens is always, it just really makes me happy because it's like this whole other community I walk into and I'm like,
You're the alpha chicken.
I'm the alpha rooster and I roll in and it's like hang out with my bitches, my hoes, and it's so much fun. But like besides that, like this time of year again, I love the heat, but I am ready for a change a little bit. I know that's weird to come out of my mouth, but I'm ready for the cooler mornings are nice. The cooler nights. Sweater weather. I'm really excited for sweater weather. I'm not excited for heating our offices with base heater because that's what happens up here. But I don't know, like I feel that the fall has always been good for me because statistically every September, end of August into September, I've been training like for volleyball or training for other seasons. So at this time of year, it's always like get your shit together time. It's always been that time for me. So it feels good to get things in order. But yeah, eating homegrown food right now is like, oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah. You've been doing that since you were putting beets in your lunch a month ago. You've been like, I love it. Yeah. So, because we're doing this with our team, have you put any thought into the 3 words that you want to have govern your fall, or is there any? Can you come up with anything that's on the kind of route?
You know, I haven't looked at the list yet because I want to get my workshop together.
Yeah.
Transparency.
Transparency.
Yeah. But I also, like, I know your word of sturdiness, but you said steadfast, but I wanted something that was like foundational. So I was leaning towards something like that, but I couldn't think of the word. So I have to think more about what I want that to look like. But I don't know. I do want to feel more joy. I want to show more joy in my face. I think sometimes that I don't think I have a resting bitch face. I really don't. I think I'm pretty naturally, I'm smiley lots and stuff like that. But at the same time, I feel like I want to feel more of it instead of it just being on my face. I want to feel it inside of my body.
Oh, I love that.
Because sometimes it's here and I'm but am I really feeling joy? You know, like
I had this whole epiphany about, because we've done our Enneagram. Joe is a 7 Enneagram. I'm a 3. And I was listening to a couple podcasts that my sister Leah sent me about the Enneagram. And one of the things that I was really resistant to when we did ours the first time was this part of it where it kind of talked about a 3 wearing masks. And
yeah, she was not happy about that.
because for me, the insinuation that I wear a mask means that I'm inauthentic.
Yeah, totally.
And I feel like I'm pretty genuine, and so that was offensive to me, the idea. But what I had this epiphany about was how you talking about showing joy in energy on the floor with people, that you're showing up that way, animated, like joyful, but you're not feeling it. That's the same as me with a mask, right? That's part of being a performer. You know, I've been a performer my whole life. And in a way, being on the floor with a crew of people is just another kind of performance, right? Yeah. And so that it's easy to put on the mask of you got to show up no matter how you're feeling, and you got to show this certain, behavior because that's the job. Yeah. But how do you actually tap into what you want to be experiencing?
Yeah, to make it connect somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough thing.
I love it. Well, it has to do with our thinking. Because thoughts create emotions. Mm-hmm. Emotions aren't random. You just don't get hit by the joy fairy. So what do I need to think to feel joyful? And that's what I keep coming back to. Joy was your word, but any of the words that I will pick, it's going to be like, okay, well, how do I create that feeling? And it's always with your thinking. So, I haven't picked my 3. I actually have picked my 3 words, but I'm not going to talk about them here because I feel like that's not fair to you, that you just didn't, you weren't ready for that maybe.
For 3 words.
But steadfast is one of them.
Yeah, like foundation. Like, I don't know, I keep coming back to that word foundation, but I don't know how I want to relate to that. Because foundation to me means that I want to be the foundation for everything that I want to create for my family. It all comes back to this foundation. And maybe that is your own cup.
Rooted, or something like that.
Yeah, something where I don't know.
Planted.
That's a good word.
That's a good word. I like planted.
And I liked it because I plant a garden all the time, so I'm planted.
Yeah.
Like
anyways, it'll come to you. You'll get it. But if you could give yourself your summer self a pep talk for the fall, what would you say?
I would sit across the room from me and I would say, okay. And I'm talking straight talk here, by the way. Yeah. This is going to be Jolie talking to Jolie, knowing who Jolie is and Jolie's habits. I would say, okay, it's time to get back into some routine. It's time to get your nutrition figured out. It's time to start prepping your food because just like, any type of self-sabotage, there's perfectionism, there's giving yourself excuses. And right now, Jolie, what you're saying to yourself is, it's fine. Because that's what I'm saying. It's all fine. I can eat some things and it's fine, right? And I know it's not fine. I don't feel good. I want to go to bed early some days because I'm not giving myself the energy I need. So just like every other, I'm a human, right? I think I eat fairly good, but there are times where I don't eat fairly good. And my body reacts to that. Example A, going to a wedding at the very end of the summer and having dinner. The food was the best food I've ever had at a wedding, by the way. The brisket, like, I had to go walk up to the chef in my high heels and be like, that's the best brisket I ever had in my whole life. But at the same time, my stomach was a fucking dishwasher. Like, it hurt so bad, and I was sick to my stomach. And then I was having wine at dinner, and I don't drink red wine, and I mixed that with a mimosa, mixed that with a friggin' margarita, and because it's my last cousin's wedding, and oh my God, was I sick. I was so sick, and my body was trash. But not drunk, hungover sick. You were no. Like, I was like food sick. Like, so what I'm saying is I think I eat fairly healthy, but I also know when I don't eat good, like days like that where I'm like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. It's a special day, and I pay for it. Man, did I pay for it. So it was a good realization. So summer pep talk being like, I think we learned a very valuable lesson there, Jolie. And as we head into the fall and you have these events where you're going to be going out and you're going to be enjoying your time, what's going to happen is that you're just going to make sure you don't have a whole plate of briskets and chicken smothered in, like Manny Vicky says, get the honey sauce, put the honey sauce in the fried chicken. And I fucking drizzled that bitch on that chicken so bad. And and whatever. It was really good food, but I need to be smarter than that. I know foods don't agree with me, and I think that awareness of when I head in, and especially as I go to away to tournaments for hockey now, I can't rely on what is going to be there for me. So pep talk is, Joe, prep your shit, save your dishwasher stomach, because that final cycle was really nasty.
Yeah, totally.
What about you?
What would summer self say for fall pep talk? Jeez, I don't know. I think I saw this question, and why am I stumped? I'm not fucking stumped. You're not stumped, Kim. I would probably say, you know what to do. Get to it. Stop fucking around. Like that's the way I talk to myself.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, get over it. Get going.
Yeah.
And also, I would also say you're on the right track.
Yeah, you're doing everything right.
Yeah, I really feel like I'm on the right track. It's good. Yeah. Is there anything that you're consciously letting go of before the year ends?
Before December of 2024, what do I consciously want to let go of? This is what I would like to. Will it happen? We can reassess that. But what I would really like to let go of my brain is the little coach in my brain, the one we talk about, the one who gives me the self-doubt that I'm not good enough some days, that imposter once in a while, when I'm coaching, when I'm parenting and I feel like I failed in a situation or in a spousal communication and I did something wrong. Like, I want to remind myself that like it's okay to feel the way you feel. It's okay to communicate the way you communicate. And truthfully, we're all just trying to do our best.
Yeah.
There's days I even tell my 4-year-old, I'm like, Duke, mommy's just trying to do her best today, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's a little bit of that compassion. So
okay, I just got to stop you. And first of all, say Duke is the coolest name ever. and just the fact that you're a 6-foot ex-volleyball star with 28 chickens and a son named Duke is like, it's like a cool factor that's next level. Okay? The second thing,
I got to name the second kid.
The second thing is that no one who ever sees you coach on the floor would ever suspect that is what would ever go through your brain. Self-doubt, self-criticism is not something that is ever projected through you, ever, at all.
Stoicism.
And so I don't even think it's stoicism. Like, stoicism to
Cowgirl
me,
raised.
yeah, maybe, I guess. I don't know. I think you're just part of probably being a really highly qualified athlete would be that you would have to pull it together on the exterior, no matter how the interior felt. And so
like
that's probably a skill.
Serve against your old university and you're bawling your eyes out in the change room away from everybody. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so that's a skill that you've developed. And so nobody would ever for a second, the people who know you, love you, work with you every day, they'd be so like, what?
That's the thing, is we're human.
Yeah.
Like, we're so human, you and I. And I think sometimes people, I don't want to say that they forget that as a negatory thing, but it's just the truth of the matter is that we are humans. We have our own emotions, and we share back and forth. That's why we want to have this conversation, so that you guys can get a really in-depth feel for who Kim and I are when
we're working it.
Yeah, we're working it, and we're trying our best as well. And we sit in this office usually without headphones, and we have a lot of these conversations together, and that's really what created this podcast, right? Yeah. We want to show you that
and sharing
we're just trying to go through too, girls.
And then we're working it. We're not we don't have blinders on, I don't think.
No, not at all.
So what do I want to let go of consciously by the end of 2024? Consciously let go of, I am so fucking done with food drama. It is not even funny. Like, I'm so done with food noise. Like,
tell me what your food noise is.
Like, food noise being like, don't eat this, better not have that, can't have that at that time of day, can't, you know what I mean?
An ice cream cone, why would you eat that? Now you're going to pay for it. Like that shit?
Yeah, all of it. There's not one specific sentence that comes, it's like all of the food noise that has been programmed into me for however long, you know what I mean? Like, I always say, if you've come through, I was a mom in the 90s, 20 years old, 25 years old, so that's when that whole like Susan Powder. Do you remember Susan Powder?
Who was she again?
She had this short brush cut hairdo. She was from the States, and anyways, I can't remember like the whole. She had this like tagline with Susan Powder, whatever. Anyways, but the point is if you came through the 90s and it was all that like low fat, don't eat fat, don't, you know what I mean? Like only chicken, only fish.
Oh yeah, body break. Body break.
Yeah, you're right. So much noise. And so the food noise is, I just am done. I'm just done shaming myself. I'm done criticizing it. I'm done over obsessing. I'm done. Like I have a really good handle on what works for my body. I'm feeling stronger and better than ever before. I've had some really insightful and not even like, that's the whole thing. Like I haven't even gone into menopause yet. Like I still would be considered perimenopausal.
Yeah, totally.
I'm having a period every 28 to 30 days, 26 to 30 days.
Pretty regular.
Like I'm 54
for most people,
and no hot flashes. I'm still sleeping and I probably just cursed the whole thing.
But remember, someone who works out, trains, and eats fairly healthy will minimize a lot of those symptoms too.
And blood sugar balance and insulin resistance and circadian health and all the things that I espouse and I'm really super fucking passionate about, right? And so, but the whole point is that there's still, it's like this ongoing conversation all the time, and I just want to find more peace around it, like I can trust myself. I can trust my body. I don't need your fucking food rules. Here's actually what does work, and here I understand it, and then I can let that go.
Shut up, monkey brain.
Yeah.
Shut up, self-conscious.
Yeah.
You don't need to protect me anymore. It's not the 90s.
Yeah, totally. Okay, and I love this question. If the fall had a soundtrack, what song would be on repeat for you?
And I don't think it's like lyric specific because the lyrics don't make any sense. But the beat, I have been listening to this song on repeat every time I drive the vehicle. I crank it to as loud as I can go. And it is called Shipwreck by Clang Carousel. I'm pretty sure these guys are from Belgium. I don't know. But it's like a chill step, like deep, slower EDM music, electronic dance music, very slower. But this song, I just can't get enough of it. And it is so good. And every time I'm driving, the leaves are changing. I just feel this vibe in my soul. And I've listened to it like 10 times a day. So
here, full disclosure, Jolie is always a musical influence to me. She's got her finger on the pulse of current music, things that are coming out. And so
and that was from Cole from Australia, my best buddy. Cole. Yeah, that's you, babe. Thank you for that.
But I'm influenced by a lot of people. But you have really been a big, kind of opened the door to a whole different style of music that I normally wouldn't listen to. So I'm going to have to listen to that. I don't have one. I don't have one.
Post Malone just had a country album.
I do love Post Malone. I do love Post Malone. The other day, I rediscovered, maybe not the other day, a few weeks ago, I rediscovered Wichita Lineman by Glenn Campbell.
Oh my God. Okay.
I am the lineman.
You know my husband, he's a lineman. You know we play this at every campfire.
Oh fuck, I love that song. And so if there's a song or like a vibe right now,
it's fucking good.
It's Glenn Campbell. Hey, I know. Like, how did I just say you're 54? Say you're 54 without saying you're 54.
No, you're not 54. That is like my husband's like soundtrack of his life.
Okay, well, it's more representative of an era and a vibe. Like it's kind of like this
a lot of
retro,
strings and instruments
and just big sound and musicianship and artistry and lyrics and
deeper band, lots of instruments.
Yeah, and actually Glenn Campbell I kind of been digging on recently. Nerd alert.
Pretty sure I've got one of his like records at my house. I'm not gonna lie.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
So anyways, if there was a soundtrack that was playing, it would be something like kind of 70s, late 70s, early 80s, retro, country, folky. Yeah.
I love it.
Me too.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what would be great for you as we're heading into fall? Would be like Neil Young, Harvest Moon.
Yes.
You walking in the
great
fields.
one.
Yeah. That's my favorite walking in the fields in September song.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Anyways, that's it.
That's it, guys. Thanks so much for showing up, and don't forget to hit subscribe.
We'll do this once in a while because this was fun.
It was